Hey guys, welcome back to the Awesome Lindsay channel. Today I'm doing a shoot featuring kind of two products. So the first product is a company called Super Flags. They reached out to me and asked if I would test out their products and see what I thought of them. And they do cinema type gear. So it's flags, bounce boards, light stand clamps, anything to kind of modify and control light. It's a really cool company, a really cool group of people, Cameron and Ryan, and they're just really cool individuals. Normally they're used for like film and video type work, but I wanted to test it out on this product photography stuff. So the other company is a company called Dew Point. They make a product for pole and aerial type athletes. You spray it on your skin and it helps you grip the pole better. I'll put links in the description so you can check out both the companies. I know them both personally. They're really good people and they make really good products. And this is the products I have to shoot, and I believe I have them grouped together in the groups I need to shoot them in. And it's going to be a product on white, and so it's going to have a white background. And what I have going on here is I have this acrylic piece, which you can pick up anywhere online. And what this is doing is it's creating that little reflection down there, if you can see it. And then on the back, I have just a piece of foam core, a large, big old piece of foam core. And I have a light shining on this. This is the Godox 8200 Pro. I have the Fresnel head on this because I'm trying to not blow this out, because you don't want it all the way, past 255 white. This head gives me a lot of power. It's very focused though, so if it doesn't, if it doesn't splash all over the background, I'll have to change it out for the bare bulb, because that gives me a wider spread usually. But we're going to try this for now. So then over here I have the Super Flags. I believe this is the large size. I think they have 3 sizes. They're on their website. The link is in the description. They also have white, like a solid white and a solid black. I have a smaller solid black here, as you can see, and then I have a white one that's floating around here somewhere. And this here is a stand clamp, I believe is what it's called. These are 3D printed, which is really cool because it makes them really lightweight. They're actually pretty strong. I mean, they're not going to be as strong as the metal ones, but if you need something to carry around with you that's really lightweight, it's not going to weigh your bag down but still hold a flag or some sort of diffusion material, that's pretty awesome to have. So I got 2 of those, and then I have off to the sides, I have the 400 Pros. They make Godox and Flashpoint version, which are the exact same things, just branded differently. So I call them 400 Pros, and they have a strip box on them. It's I want to say 1 foot by 3 foot, and these are policy buffs. I just got a speed ring that attaches to Bowens. I'm going to take these grids off because I don't want the grids to show up in the reflection of the product. So for the camera, I have a Canon 5D Mark III. Yes, still I have this one. It's an amazing camera. And then I have a Canon 100mm macro, which is an awesome lens. It's very sharp and it's great for shooting product. So what I want to do is move this camera down so that I'm actually at a lower angle, because I want to be shooting maybe a little bit upwards at this product or at the products, because that gives them kind of a hero look. Alrighty, so this is my first shot. It's looking pretty good for the first shot. I'm noticing the lights on the side are a little bit uneven, so I'm going to have to adjust those. And it's a little bit darkish in front, so I either might use the mirror, like a mirror, to reflect some light back onto it, or possibly use another Super Flags, because I have a white bounce card that I might put on a stand and just put overhead and bounce some light back down. So I'll test a few of those things in a second. Here is my light settings. The 2 on the side are 1/8 power, and then the 1 on the back is 1/16 power. So we're going to focus on the background a little bit. The background looks a tiny bit bright. We're at 99.4 all across the spectrum. Let me see if I can turn on the peaking. Well, I guess we're blowing something out in the very back here. What happens when you have your background blowing out, and a lot of people do this, is they'll just turn their flash at full power and they'll see that it's white and they'll be like, cool. But what happens is you get a little bit of a flare back from the background into the camera, and then that makes your edges of your product pretty soft. So you don't want that to happen. So what I'm gonna try first is moving this 200 Pro back a little bit from the background to bring the exposure down a little bit. And then it also gives me a wider spread, which is I'm looking for, because in the image, it seemed a little bit vignette-y. One thing to note is bringing that light back actually gave me a lot better spread on the background. So I have a little bit more evenness behind the product. So I'm still going to actually lower the flash power by a half of a stop. That way it'll get rid of some of this overexposure right here. So what you want it to be is under 255, or what I'm using here is the color picker in Lightroom, and it gives you a value of 0 to 100. 100 or over is blowing out. You won't know if you're blowing out, so I try to keep it under 100. Okay, I've done a little bit of work off camera. What I've done is scooted the whole stool forward a tiny bit because I was getting a little bit of an edge on the background. So you can kind of see a little bit of an edge back here, which I wasn't liking. You can see it possibly right here. There's also a little bump in the acrylic. I don't know if you can see that very well. It's just kind of right here. You can see the line break right there. So there's a little bit of bump in there. I had it under the product, so I flipped the acrylic around, so it fixed that problem. There is a little bit of a warble you can see right up here, but I'll probably take the fade and fade it from about here, so that won't matter too much. Also, when I check the tilt, I'm going to bring up the crop tool. It looks a little bit angled this way. If I really focus on these lines here, I'm going to have to adjust that in camera real quick. This is another reason why gear heads are really cool, because you can just turn a gear here and it'll twist the camera or rotate it on whichever axis you have, so it's a little bit easier to get the level spot on. So as you saw, I moved these two lights forward a little bit, which resulted in this shot, which I really like. This is what it was before, and the light wraps around a lot better. So what I'm going to do is bring in a flag above right here to just angle down, and we're going to see if that catches some of this light and then lights up the name of the product a little bit better. Super Flags also makes these bounce boards. This is, I want to say, a medium sized, and they have a couple different sizes of these as well. So I'm going to put this above right here and hopefully bounce some of the light back onto the label. What you want to do when you're doing product photography is you always want the label to be either the brightest or the most colorful, or whatever you can do to draw the attention to the name of the product is key. It looks like it's working pretty well. This is the shot, and this is before the flag. So it's lighting up the front of the product a lot better. Okay, the last two things I really need to do that'll kind of finalize the lighting setup and allow me to start swapping through these dew point products is I need to mark on the acrylic where the bottles will go. So when I swap them out, I can put them in the same place. So I've mentioned this before in the past. I don't know if you can see very well. I have a little small dollop of butyl, and I'm going to put a little bit right under the center where I want the center mark to be, and then I can swap those in and out. And also I need to throw this color card in there and take a shot with the color card so then I can white balance all of them properly. All right, here's a little update. Dew Point has these kind of sparkly sprays you can spray on, but the best way to do it is to shake it up and then to shoot it. but some of the flakes are pretty heavy, so they fall kind of fast. So even just getting to the camera after setting it up, some of these will be almost all the way to the bottom. So what I've done is I've shot, well, I tried to shoot a group shot right here, but same thing. Once I get them all set up and move to the camera, they pretty much all fall into the bottom. So what I'm going to do is take these individual shots and I'm going to merge them into a group shot in Photoshop. Okay, I'm moving on from the small Dew Point products to this large Dew Point product. This is their largest bottle they sell. I've moved the camera back a little bit, and I've also raised the center tripod post. Generally, I don't like doing this on these type of tripods because it starts to get a little wobbly. And if you're doing like focus stacking or compositing shots, then it's definitely something to avoid. On these images, I'm just doing one at a time. So it's not a huge deal if it's off by like, a couple pixels. But if you're doing anything very intricate, I would definitely try to avoid using this center pole. And if you can, get yourself a really sturdy tripod. All right, Evan, let me give you just a few closing tips just to make your product photography on white a little bit better. Start from a low angle, kind of shoot either horizontal straight on or just a little bit lower up at your product. Make it look kind of hero-esque, unless there's a specific artistic reason not to. Always keep in mind you want to have your labels pointed directly at the camera. Having a piece of acrylic or a mirror to get that product reflection on the ground makes it look really professional. Makes it look like the product isn't just floating in white space. Again, that's kind of what I do as a base to start from, unless there's a specific artistic reason not to do that. You can also duplicate your layer and flip it in Photoshop, but just having that there in camera makes things a little bit easier in post-production. Another tip is to grab yourself some sort of white balance card. This YBAL card is about $20 online. They're very accurate. They have a video on their website that shows how they select which material to use. So it's a very accurate card. These are also super accurate, and they have a bunch more colors for video and other things, but you have your white balance strip along the top. These, you can buy the passport that like closes up, it's plastic, has a bunch of other features with it. Those are about $100 if you can afford them, but if not, this is $20. The other tip would be to grab a monitor calibrator, which as a bonus, this came with the monitor calibrator, so kind of kill two birds with one stone with that purchase. All right, let me talk about these super flags really quick, because in this shoot, they were extremely handy. Normally when I have done balance cards and flags in the past, I've just had a pole like this on a stand, and I just spring clamp the card or the bounce to the pole, but then it makes it very hard to angle it and position it the way I like. These super flags being on a grip clamp means that I can angle it whatever way I want and position it wherever I want, and then just tighten it and it stays right where it's at. And the fact that they're super lightweight and I can take them out onto shoots, because I'm often a one-man type of show, so I have to pack everything in one bag or a backpack. So having something that's very lightweight is very awesome for me. So super flags are definitely a way to go if you're a photographer, if you're kind of a run and gun type of guy. All right, everyone, hopefully this is informative and entertaining. Hopefully you learned something today. Please go check out Super Flags and Dew Point Pole. They're super awesome products, great people. If you guys do have any questions, leave them in the comments field. I'll do my best to answer them, and thanks everyone for watching.